I'm Suzanne Weaver, the Brown Foundation Curator of Modern and Contemporary Art at the San Antonio Museum of Art.
My name is Lana Metter, and I am an Assistant Curator at the San Antonio Museum of Art. And we are here today to share with you a digital tour of our exhibition, Texas Women, A New History of Abstract Art.
Texas Women, A New History of Abstract Art is a joyous, exhilarating examination of the work of 17 artists in Texas that have been pushing the possibilities of abstraction. It is loosely divided between artists that are their mode or their approach to abstraction can be gestural, organic, process-driven, or it may be systems, schematics, grids. Most artists are all a combination of those things. Each of these artists, whether they've been working for 6 decades or less than a decade, they've been committed to pushing their language and their voice. They have created and carved out their room with a view. Toni LaSelle is a great artist to set the stage for this exhibition. She taught for 40 years at now what is Texas Women's University in Denton, Texas. But during her time of teaching, she studied often with Hans Hofmann in Hans Hofmann's school up in Provincetown, Massachusetts. There she gained from her teacher the understanding that the landscape is a precept for exploring the poetic, psychological, and emotional aspects of the landscape. And in this work, Climate of the Heart, it's like a sunrise on the beach of Provincetown. The colors, the light, the shapes, and the form. And it touches you more in your heart and your spirit and your mind.
While the basis of Catherine Lee's paintings is a structured and systematic grid, she fills in each square by hand with many layers of paint. And she does so in a non-linear fashion. So rather than going from, say, left to right and top to bottom, from square to square, she approaches the canvas from an all-over perspective, filling in different parts of the canvas in different orders. And this really disperses an energy throughout the entire composition. I think you can see here in Chocolate Cadmium from her Quanta series. The Quanta series references quantum mechanics, which again reiterates this idea of an energy being dispersed across an entire organism. This painting, called Flying in Outer Space from 1974, is by Dorothy Hood. She's first studied at the Rhode Island School of Design and at the Art Students League in New York before moving to Mexico, where she stayed for over 20 years during the 1940s and 50s. There she was influenced by the Mexican muralists and the really vibrant art and intellectual scene that was happening. She moved back to Houston in the 1960s, and it's there that she really came upon her signature style, these really monumentally scaled abstract paintings that feature colliding planes of different colors and textures and forms. They seem to evoke an expansive landscape, or perhaps a celestial landscape, or even the psychic landscape inside our minds.
Liz Trosper is an artist that is really pushing this idea of the relationship between the analog and digital. And you think about in our world, our screen world, where is the gesture, where is the hand? And when you look at her work, you think, is this a painting or is this a reproduction? She makes it actually on a large scanner. And it's like a collage where she brings things from her studio. It very much addresses in a critique way this idea, the heroic gesture of someone like Jackson Pollock, or the size, the monumentality of it. So it's very much a critique about her technology and a critique about the history of abstract art. Marcelyn McNeil's work is a great example of this idea of the organic, the gestural, process-driven. She comes out of that soak and stain color field of Morris Louis and Helen Frankenthaler, but she really pushes past that. She pushes really the possibilities of this exploration of the tension between the spontaneous, the controlled, the judgment, and then letting go.
We chose to do an exhibition focusing solely on women artists, since this is the centennial anniversary of the 19th Amendment of women's right to vote. We also found that there hadn't been an exhibition that fully examined the contributions of women working in abstract art in Texas.
Abstract art seems very frightening because you can't see a figure, you can't see an object, you can't see the landscape as we know it. But in many ways, there's so much content if you open yourself up to abstraction. Mark Rothko once said, "It's not just about an experience, it is an experience." And in content often lies in the color, the material, the ideas. So there's meaning in all aspects of the work if you open yourself to those things.